Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Sagittarius. And if Sagittarius is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so, Sagittarius, tonight we have, yes, the 8 of Discs, which has everything to do with prudence, right? What does that even mean? I don't know, but no, it has to do with, well, retaining some of the stuff that we are creating, our resources, maybe tempering ourselves a little bit, like you got $50 in your pocket and you go out to the store and you're whatever looking for something special and are you gonna spend that whole 50 or are you going to practice a little bit of preservation? Reel it in a little bit. Maybe you spend like $20, right? And that's what this card always reminds me of. Lenor, pump your brakes. Because it might be time to, start putting a little bit of whatever it is that you're creating away. Now, it might be money. It could be, all kinds of stuff. Like maybe you had a wonderful harvest this year. Your garden just went wild. And instead of letting some of it go to waste, preserving some of it, canning it, doing different kinds of dehydration or making tinctures or, whatever it is. This card is all about that. That's what I read it as anyways. So let's take a look. We're going to see what are these tea leaves going to tell us. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Now we have the number 82 right here. You can see, where's my stick? We have the number 82. Oh, maybe it is. Maybe it's more than 82. Okay, wait. So I saw the 2 here. It looks like 82, but we also look, it's 6882. We also have the number 6 over here. Okay, so we have 68, 82, and 6. If those numbers mean anything to you, we'll still do our lucky numbers towards the end, but so it looks like we have a raccoon. You can see the nose here. Here's where the eye would be, and the mouth right here, and the legs, and the body. Okay. So we have a little raccoon tail right over here. Raccoons, to me, one of the coolest animals. I love them. They absolutely symbolize versatility, adaptability, really, really intelligent, highly intelligent, resourceful, really able to kind of fit in wherever you go, right? You figure it out. And that doesn't surprise me for a Sagittarius. You all are really good at kind of creating communities, and that's really creating communities, really keeping families together. Whenever I think of like especially a older female Sagittarius, it is often somebody who is the head of a family, the one that kind of, gets everybody together for holidays, the one that always has everybody's, we all have that family member. They have everybody's birthdays, right? They have their birthdays, even if they're not on Facebook, right? They just know. And so that's the person you call when you're like, oh, hey, what is, Uncle so-and-so's birthday? I can't remember. They know. And that's I always feel like that's a Sagittarius. Really, really good at keeping track of everybody there. So it looks like we have a person up here sitting at a desk. You can see here, and it's like they're working on something. I almost imagine like sewing or working with something small. Even like, I keep thinking of those little beads, the little, what are those called? Bird seed beads? Is that what they're called? Or not the bigger ones. Those are, I think, called I can't remember. I don't know. But I think, yeah, the little tiny ones, which are so, you have to have such good eyes for those and able to string them, which is beyond me. I have them flying all over the place. They're like stuck in between the panels of wood floor and stuff. Oh my gosh. Don't even get me started on that. But yeah, I see this really being related to your ability to pay attention to details of things. You're just really good at looking at a whole situation, a whole, whatever it is, project, and you just have that like matrix-like mind. And I mean, like where they can see the thing coming and they're moving, like dodging it. It's like they're half a second ahead of everybody else. I feel like you have that capacity to really look at something and say, okay, this is what we're gonna do, right? You're really good at using what is around you. You're really good at, well, the problem solving, but also getting people rallied together to help, right? Organizing. You're very good at organizing. And so I feel like this almost is maybe it's like a hobby or a passion that runs and it's been passed down. I'm thinking of something like weaving or sewing, beading. Maybe it's like some kind of cooking or baking that takes a lot of precision. But it is something that you've grown up around and you're so good at it. Now, I don't think that you actually spend a lot of time with it recently, anyhow. In the last few years, it seems like this is something that has maybe, it's not taken priority. But I feel like it's almost kind of, and I have a person down here who is, it looks like they're preparing and then taking and feeding this kind of animal over here. And I don't know what that animal is. It looks like a duck. It looks like a dog. It kind of looks like I don't know, maybe like a giraffe a little bit. Whatever it is, it feels like it is that beast inside of you, right? That is calling out for some kind of pleasure, really. And I don't, I know. Listen, get your mind out of the gutter, right? It could be that, I don't know, but listen, I think that when I say pleasure, I mean finding a moment to do something that you actually want to do. Something that you're looking forward to. Something that's like, oh, I can't wait to get home. I'm going to do the dish. I'm going to have, something to eat. I'm going to do the dishes. I'm going to sit down, put my stories on, and work on my embroidery. And that sounds like heaven, right? And so I feel like, you are returning to the things that are moving for you. And I feel like part of this is, you know, you're coming up into Sagittarius season, and it's almost kind of like, well, let's treat ourselves. Let's feed that, you know, that thing inside that is saying like, hey, when's the last time you put yourself first? When is the last time you know, said, oh, I can't really make it. I can't really help with that this weekend. And then you stayed home and you did exactly what you want to do. Or, you know, maybe you went out and did what you wanted to do or whatever. But the point is, this is it. This is the time. This is Sagittarius season. We're on the cusp of it anyways. Just in a couple days. I think today's like as I'm doing this reading, I think it's the 18th. So we're almost there. We're still technically Scorpio, but we're preparing, right? This is going to be an exciting Sagittarius season. And yeah, so maybe you are a little softened to your own desires. And maybe you are willing to kind of bend to those whims. And you know what? I am here for it. I absolutely support you in this decision. Definitely indulging in something that it does. It brings you happiness, a little peace, a little enjoyment. So we have the name Gary, Gary, Gary. And we have a person riding on a bicycle, actually two people. I guess it could be Carrie as well, but I think it's Gary. Gary seemed to really, it feels like a masculine energy. We also have a crab. I'm wondering, maybe they are a Cancer person. And I almost kind of feel like this is somebody that we have the number 69 over here. I almost feel like this is a person that maybe you grew up with. I feel like you've been this is weird, but I feel like you've been camping or you've been on some kind of trip with them, because look, we have a person sitting up here. It looks like they're sitting on a piece of wood. You can see their eyes right here. This would be kind of the head. Here are the arm, the shoulder. This is like where the body would be. They're sitting on something right here in the little feet down here. And then over here we have people sitting and listening. Okay, kind of watching and listening. So I'm imagining it's like all gather around the fire, you know. Let's all come together so that we can, you know, listen to old Grandpa Gary or whoever it is tell us a story. And I feel like this is a friendship or a family member or some kind of kindredness that, and I imagine with that the bike, two people on the bike and like sitting on the back, and your hair's flowing in the wind, you're laughing, you're enjoying each other's company. And I just feel like this is such a, it is such a sentimental connection. And I wonder if it has, you know, there's either some kind of separation over the years, you moved away from each other, you know, maybe you're just not as close, or maybe they have passed away by now. Whatever it is, I feel like you're not around each other any longer, or at least not very often. But I feel like there's almost this kind of bittersweet kind of remembering back, right? Having this closeness with somebody that I feel like you really trusted them, and there was such a respect there to be safe, to be noticed, to be listened to be engaged with somebody, engaged as in, you know, paying attention to each other. I don't know about you, but, you know, the older I get and the more we spend time on the internets, on our phones and all these kinds of things, I notice that even just, you know, our conversations with, you know, our friends, our family members, our loved ones, they're so distracted half the time, right? You know, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I have ADHD. So if I'm talking to somebody, I can't have my phone out. I leave it in my pocket when if I'm the passenger in the car, especially if it's like my husband driving. Shout out to my husband over at Dove and Serpent Tarot. His name is Paul. He's amazing. Go check him out. I keep my phone away because I get sucked right into that thing, right? And I've even had people say, which is, I've always thought was kind of weird, not weird, but you know, it's sweet, but I'm like, dude, what's going on in people's lives that, you know, I've had people say, thank you for not being on your phone the whole time we were hanging out. And I'm like, doesn't everybody... Isn't that like what we all do? Like we just put our phone away and we hang out with each other. But, you know, I feel like we have less and less of these encounters, right? And everybody's so busy and so distracted and so this and that and the other. And so I feel like, yeah, we do. We look back, especially those of us who grew up in an analog world, and that is not having a phone in your pocket all the time or having the internet. You know, I was a teenager before I had the internet. And so I grew up in a world where, yeah, we didn't have something to just continually keep our attention all the time, you know? And I feel like, yeah, we do have a lot of like sentimental longings for a world where, yeah, maybe like we were a little bit more connected and we were more present when we were around each other. Now, that's not to say every relationship we miss having that connection, but I do think that it was maybe a little bit different, you know, growing up, being around family and stuff. They had to pay attention to you, right? And so I feel like this is part of it. This is part of it. I think that you have this desire to connect. This relationship is and was really important to you. And I think it's really something that you have been thinking about, focused on. And it is bittersweet. And, you know, the only thing I can say is if they are still alive, maybe it's worth putting in the effort to at least communicate with one another, if not go and spend time with them. But, you know, also maybe establishing some kind of, you know, I'm not going to say it's a rule, but an understanding that when you are around people you want to be around, you make the effort to go meet somebody for lunch or, you know, go on an outing together or spend the day with your, you know, teenage kid, that the phones be put away. That we, you know, we decide, hey, we're going to be in this moment together for better or worse, right? And, you know, I think that is more helpful than, you know, most of us realize. And maybe worth, you know, trying out. I don't know. But I feel this, you know, a longing for simpler times. Right? And I think we all have these moments in our lives where we do. We long for those simpler times. All right, so we have a person sitting on a bed, and it looks like almost like a boat and a bed at the same time, So I'm guessing that you have been having some really vivid dreams. We also have angels. So I feel like you've been having some visitations for sure. Really, I think revolved around stress. It seems like you've had some moments here where you have just been, well, panicking. And I feel like you're being pulled in different directions. You're maybe trying to make a decision on something that's important, but I think that it is affecting your sleep, but you are really receiving kind of these moments where it feels like the divine is, you know, very, very intentionally communing with you. And the dreams feel like they are carrying over into your waking life. There does seem to feel like there is a belovedness there. So I don't think that it's like anything bad, but it's heavy. I mean, you know, if you understand what I mean by this, it's just, if you've ever had a dream where it's just, you wake up and you're still thinking about it, you still feel the atmosphere of it in your waking life. And I feel like that's been happening a lot lately for you. I also feel like there is a almost like a unrequited love situation happening. And I feel like maybe somebody is in love with you that you are not interested in. I think that's also adding to your stress, because I don't think that you like to let people down, but you also aren't a pushover, right? You're not just going to be nice to somebody and lead them on because you don't want to hurt their feelings. But you also, you know, you don't want to be rude or cruel about it. But I do think that situation is going to be something where, yeah, you just have to be straight up about what's going on. I'm just not feeling it, sir or ma'am. Like, just not for me. Yeah. Yes. And let's do our lucky numbers. Okay, number 82. Number 82. 61. 82, 61. 53 and 53. All right. So we're also, I want to do like one oracle. I was thinking maybe we won't, but yes, let's do one oracle card from the Radiant Sun Oracle. And I just want to ask, well, what is this next little, oh, yeah, what can you expect for your birthday? Because that's coming up. I want to see, what is the energy? What is the energy? Bluff. What? Okay, we'll have to do a couple more. Bluff. What is the energy of the birthday? Ooh, loss. Okay. Intuition. There we go with the adaptability. Let's do one last one. Status. All right, so it feels to me like your birthday is something that you don't like to celebrate because I'm just going to be straight up about it. It feels like you don't feel like you have enough status within your family or the people around you for them to really remember you, right? Or actually like go out of their way to kind of like, celebrate you. And I feel like at times you feel like I just feel like the sense of you've lost hope in anybody really doing anything or remembering or any of that. I also feel like it's very hurtful because you have done so much for everybody else, right? And, you know, I feel like with your ability and intuition, you know what it's going to be, okay? But I think that there has been a shifting, and I can see you deciding that you're going to celebrate yourself. You're going to take the initiative and do what you want to do. You're not going to wait around for somebody else to try to, you know, make it what you want or anything at all, right? Because you know where that leads. But I see you really deciding, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm just going to have a nice time, whatever that looks like. And if so-and-so wants to be involved, then great. If not, okay, that's fine too. And so I see you kind of coming into this new era of your life where you're just not going to wait for somebody else to, you know, make you feel special or make you feel some kind of, you know, meaning or you know, just happiness, right? I think that you're at the point in your life where you realize you have to do these things for yourself, you know, and a lot of us do. And I honestly, I feel like this is just my belief. People often treat us how they see us behaving. You know what I mean? So if this is subconscious or not. So if I am going to lament every birthday and be upset that nothing happens or nothing good enough happens, that's what's the reaction, the response, I'm setting myself up for this, and the people around me are going to act accordingly, right? But if I'm out here having fun, getting my stuff together, hey, I'm going to pick my presents. I'm going to get my own stuff. If I have to make my own cake, so be it. At least I know I'm going to like it, right? You know? And I think people follow suit. Okay? Now, that's not always the case, of course. But I think it's worth a try. You know? I'll tell you what. My husband, you all know him probably over at Dove and Serpent Tarot. That guy is amazing. He is a wonderful, wonderful husband, outstanding father, just a great person in general, right? I still buy all of my own stuff. Not because he's a bad gift giver, but because I have decided I'm not going to leave it to chance. And it's not about the things. I don't care about what it is. Half the time I'm buying something like, extra silverware for myself or something, like it's all stuff for everybody. But anyways, I just decided at some point, even before I met him, I am taking it into my own hands. I'm tired of waiting. I don't want to hope that somebody is going to make my life better. Somebody is going to make my birthday for me. Somebody's going to, I'm going to do that. I know that I can, and I will, right? And so I hope that if you happen to be somebody who laments their birthday, that you'll get out there and you'll do something for yourself. Okay? Take care of yourself. Celebrate yourself. You deserve it. Okay, we're going to do our Mary Magdalene Oracle cards. I'm just going to flip through. Sacred worth. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of love. Yeah, you are. I love this picture. I really do. It's so beautiful. I love all of them. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you because I do. And I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I read them all. I love hearing from you. Absolutely. I think that's it. I can't remember if I missed the last Sagittarius. I might have. But I'm sorry if I did. We've had the stomach flu over here, and it's just been busy as well. I've been busy and having the stomach flu. So I'm a little behind on things, but I'm back on schedule for now. So, but we'll see. Holidays, they're like literally right around the corner. But I appreciate you for waiting and still coming here and watching the videos. You all are the best. So again, I love you, I love you, I love you. We'll talk again real soon. Good night.